Sunday, April 5th, and it's time for This Week at SFT. This week's guest, Dean of Students, Assistant Director Amanda Vaughn. And here's your host, Greg Scamato.
Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 12 of This Week at SFT. As always, I'm your host, Greg Scamato, and as you may already know, April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Now, I know on this show I like to goof around a lot, but I want you guys to know that sexual assault is no laughing matter. With that being said, we'll talk about that a little later, but let's get this show started with Rapid Fire.
Soccer, Sunday vs. Mozart and Honors. Money Week, all week long on campus. Follow the link for more details. Softball, Tuesday vs. Mozart and Honors. Zumba Night, Wednesday at 6 in the Santa Fe lobby. The Hobbit, Battle of the Five Armies. Wednesday at 8 p.m. in the Onstead Promenade. Softball, Thursday vs. Maple. Suns with Buds, Friday at 3 p.m. in the Traditions parking lot. Don't forget, freshman registration starts on Friday at 7 a.m. at my.unt.edu.
It's a busy week, guys. I want to touch on something. On Friday at 3 p.m. in the Traditions parking lot, we have Suds with Buds, which is all the male RAs and any men that want to participate washing the female residents of SFT's cars. We talked about it a little bit earlier on episode 5 if you want any more information. But we need you guys to sign up, all the gentlemen at SFT. So sign up at the Traditions front desk. I'll have a sign-up sheet out there when this video airs. So sign up to help out. What your sign-up gets you, not only you get to work with all the other guys at SFT, but you also get your car washed for free as well by us. So make sure to do that. You guys are all great. You're great residents. And speaking of great residents, here's the second installment of SFT Spotlight.
Hi guys, my name is Megan Wynn and I live in the Traditions Hall. I am a freshman this year, and I am a music education major with a vocal concentration. And I want to teach elementary school kids.
Hey, my name is Hunter Davis. I'm from Henderson, Texas. I am currently studying communication design. Some things about me are I'm a Pi Kappa Alpha active member, and outside of school, I mostly spend my time avoiding homework, watching Netflix, or hanging out with friends. That's about it, though.
Hi, I'm Sophie Clark. I'm a British student studying in Texas on a study abroad program. I attend the University of Chester back home, and I'm currently a tourism management student, and I'm in my third year, and I'll be graduating next year in June. Fun facts: I'm a twin, which is pretty cool. I have a twin sister and an older brother. I've visited a lot of places, including Canada, Poland, Turkey, Greece, and France. Those are just a few, and I love to travel, and I want to travel lots more in the future, and this opportunity gives me the chance to do just that. And my favourite film is Transformers, and I really like the Harry Potters, and I went to Universal in spring break, which was pretty cool. And then I also went to Miami and Key West and Key Largo and Panama City, because that's what you do in spring break in America.
Hi, my name is Emmy. I am studying public relations here at UNT. I am in the Army. I write and play my own music on guitar, and I'm really into fitness. I have lived all over Texas, mostly in Houston and Dallas areas.
As I said before, April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and we need to be conscious about this because sexual assault is something that is very common at a university and around our age range. And it's even more common with people who know each other. So I'm not an expert about this, so I met up with one this week. This is my interview this week with Amanda Vaughn of the Dean of Students.
Hey everyone, I've got a very special guest today to kick off Sexual Assault Awareness Month. I'll let her introduce herself. So who are you and what do you do?
Well, my name is Amanda Vaughn, and I'm an assistant director in the Dean of Students office. I handle conduct, care team, Title IX investigations, and mainly housing conduct.
Okay, and it is April. It is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. I've touched on it a little bit earlier this episode. I've talked about consent as well. So what
does consent mean to you, or maybe a dictionary definition of consent? Like, what is consent?
Well, consent is actually saying yes to something, agreeing to something without being forced to, or without being, without feeling like someone's making you say yes. So the way the university looks at it is that it's an informed, sober, freely given, ongoing, and enthusiastic yes. And I know people laugh at the enthusiastic part, but the enthusiastic yes means that you are really excited. There is no gray area of, are you saying yes just because someone has power over you, or are you saying yes because you feel like you have to say yes?
Okay. And that's an important thing, obviously, right? Okay. So if someone is in a situation in which they don't want to say yes or have not said yes, but they do feel some sort of pressure, and it's just an uncomfortable feeling that they have, what should they do in that situation?
Well, my first response would be to remove yourself from that situation if you're able to. If you're not able to remove yourself from the situation, as soon as that person who's making you uncomfortable kind of leaves and gives you some space, call. So if you're a resident on campus, call your RA. You can always just default and call 911 if you feel like you need to report it. And you can also go to your hall director or come straight over to the Dean of Students office during business hours, and you don't have to go talk to anybody else before you come to us if you don't want to.
Cool. And then not only if they're in that situation, but if they're a bystander watching the situation, what should that person that's watching this uncomfortable situation happen, what should they do?
I think that's a very good question. I think that's something college students face all the time, because you go out with your friends somewhere, someone may approach someone, and you can tell, when you're with your friends, you can tell if someone's uncomfortable and they're like, ooh, I think my friend needs my help. What we told students during orientation was if you notice it and you notice the person's behavior is kind of like timid and they were really talkative and friendly with you, is to walk over and say like, hey, kind of interrupt the conversation, add into the conversation so that they're not just by themselves with that person. I told this funny joke, and you can edit this out if you want to, but it's funny. We were told in our Title IX training is that the funniest thing for females to do is, if you're out at a party or at a bar, or really wherever there's a social event going on, and you see your girlfriend who you came with, she seems really uncomfortable with what's going on. She's kind of giving you that like eye look that, you kind of have with your friends, and you're another female, is to walk up to them and be like, hey, do you have a tampon? Because usually that'll shut whoever, even other females.
Ultimate defense.
Right. It shuts even other people that are either other females who are like, ooh, that's awkward. Okay, I'm going to back away from this situation. So that's kind of like a funny way to do it.
Sure.
And I would always talk to your friends now and see what they want to do. Like, say, if you're in an uncomfortable situation, how are you going to let me know, and how should I come and approach that? My friends and I in college had like a word that we would use in our conversation if we were uncomfortable with whoever was approaching us, like why we were out, and the other friend would come and be like, oh, it's time to go, I'm the driver, I'm taking her. And then if the person's like, no, let me take her home, we're like, nope, we have a pact, we always go home together, so we're never in a situation like that. But I think if you're in a situation with someone who's not a friend, that makes the situation a little bit difficult when you're at a party. I always say, if you are uncomfortable approaching the situation, but you clearly know something is going on that's inappropriate, or you can tell the other person by their body language is uncomfortable, is either go get someone who's in charge of the event, or per se, someone who's has more of an authority over people that are there. Let's say it's their apartment and you're there. They can come in and step in and be like, hey, Greg, I think someone needs to say something to him or to her, something's going on, or to her, and then diffuse the situation.
Okay.
If it's a bigger issue, I always say, when in doubt, call 911. If it is accelerated to that point.
Gotcha. And so this is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And why are we only bringing this up in April? We've had this is really important stuff. Like, we've had all year to talk about this. Why April, or what can we do now that it is so late to really bring awareness to this?
Well, I think, April is like the federal, like every school talks about it in April. So I think that's why it's geared up more in April. We did do some stuff in October, but that was like dating violence type stuff. where April is strictly like sexual assault awareness
Okay.
month. So I know that UNT has had a process ongoing for this year. For the last 18 months, Dr. McGinnis wrote a nice article about it and just got posted in the NT Daily about what we've been doing to kind of be more proactive along the way. And so April's a big month, but there has been little things that we've gone to classes. I've gone to some classes. Our other coworkers have gone to fraternity and sorority meetings to kind of talk about this stuff, risk management stuff. So it's talked about. I just don't think students aren't necessarily aware unless they're attending something like that.
Yeah.
But we're trying to hit bigger populations throughout the year. It's just that April is when the whole university hears about it. But I think students, if they're interested, can talk about it, can come to the Dean of Students office and say, hey, can we do a program? Our dean would always welcome a program every month on dating violence, sexual assault, all that kind of stuff. It's just that April is the federal kind of mandated area.
So if my residents that are watching this want to get something more than just watching this episode, what can they do this month to get more? Like, other than going to the DNC, are there any events going on?
Yeah, actually, I brought a calendar that you can post with the video as well if you want.
Okay.
I can send it out, and the hall directors we can send it out to all of them. But there's going to be multiple tables that'll be out for people to sign like petitions and get more information. And then our big event is April 30th, and it's the Take Back the Night event.
Yeah,
it starts at 5:30. And it goes till 8:30, and we've been highlighted as one of the spotlights around the country for Take Back the Night. So there's 10 to 15 schools that have been selected as the spotlights, and so there'll be a huge presence that night. So if they want to come out and kind of figure out how to get more involved, there's plenty of
I can
workshops.
Do a nice little overlay.
Right. Yeah.
Nice.
So there's plenty of stuff going on.
Cool. And if you want to leave our residents at SFT with one more thing before we go, it could be about sexual assault, could be about anything the Dean of Students offers, or just anything, what would it be? I
would say to make healthy decisions. And when I say that, I mean, you can have fun as a college student, but make sure when you get up the next morning, you're not going to be upset about what you did. And your parents would not be upset about what you did. I always tell students, this is kind of the funny thing when I worked in housing, was Facebook was not around like it is now. And so...
Or at all.
It was my junior year of college.
Oh,
Don't
well,
age me
then.
that much. But what I always said was, if you don't want your grandparents, if you would not show that picture to your grandparents or do not want them finding out what you did, then you probably shouldn't have done it, or you should have made a better decision while you were doing it. So that's what I would leave everybody with.
Cool. Well, thank you for being on the show, and I hope you guys got something out of it.
Thank you guys for watching this week. I hope I didn't bring you down too much, but remember, this is a very important thing. So stay aware, and I'll see you this week.